I know. We'll also be discussing around what is the difference between a data logger and a monitoring solution, and also look at a lot of use cases across industries where this is pertinent. Just to set the context, right? Given the current times, over the past decade, Indian government has boosted, and not only in India but elsewhere as well. They've boosted support to environmental sustainability. We recently hosted a program for UK government where a lot of companies and startups around these presented themselves. And it has started a special focus, right, on Indian businesses building in this direction. We clearly see every alternate corporate, discussing with us on SDG goals, right? You know, Apart from digital transformation and open innovation. So SDG goals and adherence to that has become a priority across the globe. And losses due to say wastage in food and biopharma industry are a concern now more than ever. More work is being done in building cold chain infrastructure, uh, and that has really built in a lot of need to really monitor the whole supply chain activities. So with an estimated, about 6 to 10 CR COVID vaccine vials moving into system every month, from July, cold chain is bracing itself for the impact. Now, in these interesting times, we are happy to host Adapt Loggers, which has been creating some ripples in the field of Internet of Things. Over the past few months, in fact, we have seen a lot of interactions with some of our customers, and I've been working closely with them. This is a team of IITians supporting cold chain professionals, gain a superior control through real-time visibility into operations, and I am sure, people who have joined in, especially who are managing the cold chains and supply chains, would understand this as to how this has become extremely pertinent and critical. No, I have seen their solution, and it really adds a modern touch, I would say, to the whole age-old logistics experience. Uh, okay, instead of me taking your time, I will let Mr. Shiva Kumar take it from here. He, as an alum of IIT Mumbai, he has been closely working with us, and he has been working with the logistic industry for more than 10 years now. So Shiva, the stage is yours.
Thanks for the introduction. I would say good evening because it is evening in India, and thanks for everyone who joined in. I'm dropping my email ID in the chat box. So if there are any questions that we aren't able to answer during the webinar, please feel free to drop an email to me. Um, Supply chain in itself is a complicated beast from my experience working with them. And cold chain is a very special case where each problem gets compounded, and cold chain professionals often find it um, often find the technology not enough supportive to the operation, to the scale and complexity of operations they tackle. So we try to build solutions that provide enough support to operation managers and quality management to not only handle their operations but be able to mitigate any problems or risks that pop up in real time. So I'll just start with a quick introduction of our organization and brand. Then we'll look into the specs and functionalities of a cloud connected solution, what it needs to be, and what are all the components in which it can support the operation management of cold chain. And we'll address the important aspects: storage, transportation, and distribution, especially for the cold chain operations of food and pharmaceutical industries. We'll have a quick look at the single-use data logger. It is a product that we recently launched, and we'll take a brief look at a use case, an interesting use case in shipping industry, and then we'll move to a QA session. So Adapt Editions is a brainchild of IIT Bombay and Harvard Business School alumni. We are a team of best engineers picked across the nation, and they love solving technology challenges. And the idea is to build strong technology support solutions and build them in a way that they are simple to use for the uh, regular users who are not very adept with the technological aspects. We do believe that ideas are really designed to be shared. A simple idea that can inspire action is becomes a very powerful tool for the progress in the technology industry. So I think this is obsession that we have with the simplicity in solution and picking up challenging problems that really kept us afloat. And I'm glad to say that we are established and have a foothold across the globe. Uh, and yeah, especially in Asia and Pacific region over the past few months, things have got really quite interesting. And yeah, so Adapt Loggers is a
So, Shiva,
brand
would you
of.
like to pull up your presentation if you may want to? Uh,
Yes,
yeah, yeah,
I-
okay. That
I'll
should
just
be
share
useful.
it in a second. Yeah,
Oh, yeah, yeah, okay. Take your time. Thanks.
yeah.
Continue, continue.
So Adapt Loggers is a brand of Adapt Ideations that is specifically for cold chain industry. So we are basically an IoT company. So we track and monitor everything that is imaginable. But when we got into cold chain, we really understood that the scale of the problem that they are facing in the industry. So it was appalling to see that even with so much technology around, one third of world's food and 25% of biopharma that enters cold chain still goes into waste. This in itself costs about $50 billion on a global scale. So data loggers are a compliance requirement in cold chain, but the technology didn't really succeed well in stopping the wastage from happening. So, in general, cold chain is risky. It is very well maintained by operation managers, very carefully tackled. Uh, but it is surprising how many times I get to hear that the temperatures was maintained through and through in in the cold warehouse during the transportation, and yet the goods arrived at the destination either thawed or spoiled, uh, or melted. The number of stakeholders that are involved, the number of hand holdings that happen across the chain of custody creates an environment where tracing the point of fault becomes very difficult. So the sometimes the problem is faulty sensor system in a cold warehouse, which keeps giving inaccurate reading. It keeps showing 22 degrees when the actual temperature is 3 or 4 degrees above that, which is quite dangerous for the goods that are stored in such sensitive temperatures. And sometimes the damage happens while handing over the goods to transportation trucks, and the problems keep getting only more complicated in tropical countries like India. And uh, theft, when it comes to biopharma goods, theft, damages, and tampering are a commonplace to commonplace to see. So we built this little unit called Kelvin. Let me just stop sharing for a second. So we built this little unit called Kelvin. This is stopping my video. Great. So this is a data logger that goes along with pharma and food consignments. It is a little data logger that lasts for more than 2 weeks on single recharge. So what it does is it comes with a GSM connection and keeps all the subscribers notified about the events in cold chain. So the idea is to keep the goods connected with the operation managers who are handling them, not just who are taking care of that particular chain of custody, but the entire ecosystem aware of what is happening in the cold chain. So if there is any out of range temperature event, or if somebody opens the box, or if there is a shock impact, to the consignment during moving. This is going to send SMS notifications and emails to all the subscribers and let them know that so and so event happened at the particular timestamp uh, to the consignment. So the this is a very robust, non-tamperable device. So it has only single button. This cannot be switched off. So this button just relays data to the cloud. So that is the only functionality that is on the device. The entire control of the device and the network happens over the cloud. I'll quickly take you to the cloud interface. And so this is the cloud interface from where we control the operations. So it is going to show us the status of different devices in different consignments and where they are. So this is a consignment that has been sent from Hyderabad to Kolkata. Let's have a look at the status. This is the present temperature of the consignment, and this is the route it took to reach from the source to destination. So you can point at any specific location and see what the temperature there has been and what is the battery level and how it is being maintained. So this, along with the continuous temperature monitoring, can help the operation managers keep the goods safe. So this is well maintained under in the zone of -2 to 8 degrees. This spike that we are looking at. So we checked with the team, and it is door opening event that happened for the check-in, and then it went back to the normal temperature, and the trip ended. So this kind of sensitive data is going to help really. This asset intelligence is what really helps mitigate and prepare cold chain for future events. And we can also compare multiple devices, uh, their temperatures and everything. So if I'm sending multiple consignments, then I can look at it. So this is going to keep an event log of what is happening at every point. So if there is any out of range event that is happening, an out of range event or a box opening or a shock, it is going to note down the location and timestamp of the event so that it can be traced back. So it also has a reporting feature, and the entire control happens from this control panel. So you can add consignment, you can set the trips and assign consignment to the trips. So the trips are going to help create geofencing notifications. I'm just going to give a quick show of it. So I want to pick a route from Mumbai to Hyderabad, say to a middle point, say Pune. I can add geofences to make sure that my consignment is going through the route I have specified the truck driver to the truck driver. So when it enters the geofence location and leaves the geofence location, it is going to give me a notification through SMS or email the way I choose. Uh, so there are also many user roles that we can define. So there is admin user role, there is users that you can add from internal organization, and you can also add clients who are going to subscribe to the trip. So these the notifications from this trip is going to be sent to these clients by depending on how you assign them to them. So that is actually the end-to-end solution that I keep talking about. So this is actually included at the manufacturing stage. This is put in the consignment at the manufacturing stage, and it has a battery life of more than 2 weeks, which is quite comfortable for any domestic or international trips that happen. However, it can be customized in such a way by reducing the sync frequency with the cloud to increase the battery life to more than 2 months. So all the customization can be done on the control panel I just showed you. And this is we also equipped this with flight mode algorithms. So what a flight mode algorithm does is so many pharma consignments move across nations and they have to move through airplane. But real-time monitoring devices have RF, which interfere with airline communications. So this is equipped with an endpoint AI algorithm, which is going to recognize the takeoff and landing of a flight and switch off RF between the takeoff and land. It is going to store the temperature and all the parameters on the device until the flight trip is done. And once it lands, it is going to switch on automatically and send the data to the cloud. So we had to build that because we want to reduce human intervention. Just imagine the amount of effort it takes if there are 100 pharma consignments and somebody has to switch off the devices before boarding the flight. So yeah, so this is a flagship product, and we have a range of products for different applications across cold chain. So this is supposed to cover from packaging stage to endpoint consumer. Uh, for cold room monitoring, we have built a special data logger with Wi-Fi module. So Kelvin works both on GSM connection and Wi-Fi. We can also configure it to, we also can connect it to 2G or 3G networks. Pixel works on local Wi-Fi and it keeps continuous monitoring of warehouse. So I'll quickly show, this also has one single button which is going to sync data with, manually sync the data with cloud. But this is not required. So once you place Kelvin or Pixel in a consignment or a warehouse, this sync automatically with the cloud. So, yeah. I'll quickly share my screen and take you to the Pixel solution. So this is Pixel solution. So there are going to be, you might have multiple chambers, multiple warehouses, and each warehouse might have multiple chambers. So you can add those warehouses and chambers in an hierarchical order and place one or two of each devices depending on the requirement in the chambers. And if there is any temperature excursion event or cautionary temperature spike that happens in the warehouse chamber, it is going to push those chambers into the alerted chambers section. So you can quickly navigate to what is the problem that is happening. So there is a humidity excursion somewhere, there is a temperature excursion somewhere, there's a temperature excursion that is going to happen somewhere. So all of these are highlighted and the event logs are maintained. We have automated the reporting and everything as much as possible, and you can add warehouses and you can add chambers and everything. So the more you have, the more people you subscribe into the portal, the easier it is to share reports and everything. So that's the Pixel solution. Uh, So these are two of major products in our lineup. Depending on different use cases, we have built multi-use USB data loggers, single-use data loggers. We have a product called Drive that is for trucks. So depending on different use cases, we have customized the solutions too. We are serving the customers by reaching as close to their regular operations without disrupting their regular operations as possible. So I'll quickly switch back to my presentation. So the cloud solution that I have showed you for Kelvin and Pixel, they are integrated as Titan, which is our cloud platform. where we are going to maintain the trace of data and keep you posted with everything. So as I said, the idea is to keep everyone subscribed and in tune with the operations that are happening on ground from the manufacturing unit until it reaches consumers. So we had to build customized solutions for each of them. And QR code is one functionality I have to show. So this product comes with a QR code. So all one needs to do to pair this and start getting notifications is install the mobile app, scan this QR code and place it in the consignment and scan the QR code of the consignment and the pairing is done. The rest of it is taken care by the cloud platform. So that's pretty much about the Kelvin and Pixel. We have clients across globe using it. So one of the features that really differentiates our products is we cover all the aspects that are required for IoT monitoring. So there are hardware data loggers that are being used right now in cold chain industry, which are not connected. So the problem with them is you are going to understand that there is something went wrong during the operations, but unless you can mitigate it, it's only postmortem analysis. You cannot do anything about it. So we cover the hardware sensors, the network, and we also cover the cloud aspects of IoT. So you'll get a login just like a Gmail, and you are going to be able to subscribe to all the notifications and benefits of the data logger. So I'll quickly move to our single-use data loggers. This is this is our new product. We launched it very recently. It's a single-use data logger. It comes with a USB connection. So the the idea is to also be able to provide to also be able to cater the market that is used to single-use data logger where the reverse logistics are not provided. So and also bring them to the cloud connected notification zone of data loggers. So this has a battery life of 2 years. It is going to monitor only temperature. And the best thing about it is once it reaches the destination, it can store the data on the device for about 1 year. During this time, if you connect this to a device that is connected to internet and upload the PDF report to the cloud, it is going to send that report to all the subscribers. Great, great. I'm just going to quickly address Mr. Ashish Joshi. I think the question is really important. Uh, yes, within India, we do have logistics partners who. So let me read the question first. So he wants to understand if the reverse logistics of this device is taken care of, and he says that 2 weeks battery life is too low for international cargo and ocean freight. That is true. So 6 to 8 weeks can be done through customization. As I said, it can be pushed until 2 months. Um, yeah, I'm not going to talk about Rombi, but actually, this is not actually built for ocean freight. This is what we suggest for ocean freight. Number one, because the reverse logistics is really difficult when you're sending data logger on ship, and so that is why we kept the battery life of this device for more than 2 years. So that is uh, for long ocean freights that happen. So this we suggest for air cargo especially. So we have built it in such a way that it can track air cargo. So again, we have been working in this field for more than 4 years now, and we have worked with pharma clients, we have worked with food industry, we have worked with cold warehouses and customize the solutions accordingly and build this range of products. Now we have about 25 a line of 25 products. You can have a detailed look at them at adaptloggers.com. I'll also drop the website here. So I'm pretty sure that whatever is the requirement and the customization that you are looking for, you'll probably find it there. But if you can't find a specific requirement that you're looking for, we are always happy to support teams with our solutions. So as I said, the solution is entirely built with our own hands, and we can mold it the way you want. That's the best thing about the solution. So yeah, as I said, it, especially right now, we are trying to reach out to uh, cold chain professionals, operation managers, and quality management, especially to let them know that a solution like this can really help their operations uh, experience easier. Um, so yeah, that's I think that's I have covered the major points. So yeah, that's it. So I'm ready to take the questions. I would love to take the questions.
Thanks. Sure, that was really insightful in terms of all the product information you gave. I mean, if anyone has any questions, I'm sure people would have questions in terms of, how do you really approach uh, a customer, right? How do you do a typical POC for that matter? What would you suggest? What has been your experience? And as well, any tie-ups with, say, airlines and other providers, if they are going to be critical, right, to
Yes.
expedite deployment at scale. So if you would like to actually give more insights on that, that is useful. But I think if someone has a question, please unmute yourself and ask, or you could post it on this chat or the AMA page and we'll ask.
So as for airline tie-ups, we do have airline tie-ups with airlines in Qatar region, Australia, New Zealand region, and Dubai region. That we are approaching more airlines, and I'm sure that after 2 3 airlines, the rest of the airlines are going to be more positive about approving the
Oh, yeah,
product.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah,
These days, in fact, I think, these days airlines are more into logistics than anything else, right?
yeah, yeah.
Obviously,
It's
and so it helps building up those relations. Really appreciate that. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. The interesting thing is actually the ocean freight. We are in uh, the, the containers are in a need to be digitized, and we are all I think are aware about the container fiasco that is happening right now. And moving forward, container digitization is definitely going to happen. It's a question of 2 months or 2 years. Uh, but the challenge is, of course, the communication on the ocean. So we are hoping that if the ships open satellite communication for the data loggers, then we are excited about that. Yeah.
Yeah, audience, really appreciate your patience being here, today. Would love if anyone has questions, kindly unmute yourself or raise your hands so that we can call your name to go ahead.
Hello. Hi,
Hi.
this is Srishti. Yeah, so I have one question which I wanted to understand. So, can this logger be used in like metal containers and trucks, and will it still transfer the signal and send data to cloud?
Yeah, the better containers and blast rooms are actually a problem we quite often face on the field. So what we do is we either use the little signal that leaks from the rubber gasket where the gate is joined, or we suggest a probe solution. The probe solution is generally easier because the probe is kept inside the reefer container or a cold room, and the device is placed outside, so the signal will be available.
Okay, thank you.
So Shiva, do you want to give a little bit of a, I mean, I would say a use case journey, if you may want to just give a little bit of that, maybe useful,
Definitely,
So how, yeah.
definitely, definitely. So I'll take you through one use case that we have recently installed Excel in cold rooms in Gwalior. So they were actually facing the problem that Srishti was saying. They rented a couple of warehouses outside the city, and they couldn't do this manual reporting thing using displays and paper. So they were looking for a cloud connected solution, and they have approached us, and we installed the devices inside the cold room, and little uh, and the Wi-Fi was placed outside. So the a little Wi-Fi leaks through the rubber gasket around the gate. That was actually enough to send that much data to the cloud. So that is one solution for the cold rooms. There was another big project where there was a lot of cold warehouses, and we had a dedicated router and placed a repeater network to enhance the Wi-Fi signal in the cool rooms and collect the data. I would actually pick the use case of we have also the Kelvin is also being used for vaccine tracking right now, because vaccine is a really sensitive commodity and it's very precious. So they are pushing using this data logger for domestic travel in India, and collect the data from the operations. Then the storage too, they are using the same device to collect the data from the storage too. And once the trip is ended, the Kelvin is collected after roughly 2 weeks, and it is recharged and sent again for data collection.
Yeah, I have another question. I think we were expecting that you will reveal how customers can or your clients can save money. Want to understand how much ROI without using the logger and with using the logger, how much difference typically, maybe if you can share a use case as well.
Um, so I actually wanted to cover that in an extensive session, but I, it went into a lot of details of policy, and it took. I had to turn back into end-to-end question monitoring. I wanted to cover the important aspect. As for ROI, we have worked in different business models, and if you have a good quantity of tracking that needs to be done, say 50 reefer trucks, I can assure you that we can bring down the tracking cost per annum by at least half.
And what are the things that you save for them? Is there any typical things that this was the issue before logger were used and how it is helping?
Yeah, one is uh, the and all the aspects are not covered. That is a major issue that we find. It's either hardware data loggers that can be connected using a USB, or it is just a cloud platform that needs to be separately taken and connected to the hardware. So we try to make it a plug-and-play solution. That is one complaint we get from clients, and the can you please repeat the question, Srishti? I think I might be diverting a little. Yeah.
So what I wanted to know was what is the thing? Are you saving them their wastage, or what exactly happens when they use? Like for example, if I start using real-time logger, what are the things that become easy for me?
Okay. Okay. Number one, the monitoring itself becomes easy. I don't know if I'm directly addressing your question, but I'm going to take it. Uh, there are a lot of single-use data loggers that come into the system in India and end up in waste every year. So we have why we built this rechargeable multi-use data logger is one. uh, we don't want you to waste money on buying a data logger that can be used only once and is not environmentally sustainable. So if you can't set up a reverse logistics system for yourself, we are going to partner with, we are going to use our partners like DTDCs so that we can get the reverse logistics done for you. So when you have this circulating products, so it is a one-time investment that you put into tracking, and it's your it stays as your asset. So that's that long-term involvement actually reduces the cost. It reduces the cost a lot.
And how many years does it take to cover to if I use a single use compared to a real time?
Single-use data logger is just a trip. You cannot do anything after the trip. It might be 2 days, 2 weeks. It's just one trip.
Right, but
Uh,
it would be much cheaper than this one, right? So how many months or like year it takes to recover that?
oh, okay. Um, I I would I would be more comfortable to talk all these things over an email or a personal call. But
Sure, sure.
I'll tell you this. So the product comes with a 2 years warranty. So you are covered for all the trips until 2 years at the worst case scenario. So you can compare the prices.
Yeah, obviously that is interesting. Shrishti would love if you could reach out to me. I have given my email ID also, as well. Shiva has shared. We'll
Sure,
happy
sure.
to get into a deep dive, so that it helps in terms of really for a specific use case because it is quite a use case specific. But however, we would be happy to really uh, have a
Yeah,
discussion with you. Surely love to.
it's actually the customer engagement is really what we enjoy. So when we install and work with the operations teams, they are really quite. Uh, it's a different kind of vibe. It's a memory that we cherish. The one-on-one interaction would be really very comfortable.
Thanks. Thanks. Yeah, if there's anyone else, you may unmute and ask, please. So Shiva, I mean, if you would like to share during a POC, what are the typical queries or issues you typically see from customer? What are the key concerns you see in case?
So, as I said, this is like a brick. You just place it in your consignment and it does everything for you. So the general concerns I get is the number one, the signal availability because the reefer truck. So there is a bit of solutioning that we do with every client. So that is actually another important thing that you get with the solution. We provide the service, we take care of hand holding, and if something goes wrong, we go personally and try to set things right. It's not a simple product sale and we are done with it. So we do a little bit of solutioning for each client, and we make sure that the product that we're giving them is going to work in their specific use case. Yeah.
Okay.
So in general, they take a couple of samples, they see the dashboard, they get a feel of it, and they stick with it. Yeah.
Yeah, obviously, I mean, once this is deployed, I'm sure, it becomes a kind of a hygiene in terms of how one can leverage and, enhance the operational efficiency as well as, quality of delivery. So these are very critical aspects. Also, in the food industry, would you like to suggest, I mean, anywhere else, any kind of use cases you may want to suggest?
Um, that was another idea I really wanted to explore in this webinar, but due to time constraint, I did not take it up. There is an entire good storage practices manual that I need to cover if I'm getting into food storage. But I'm going to say this: 35% is not an acceptable wastage that can happen in food storage. It is happening in India. It's even more. It's around 40%. So It's happening because number one, we have less cold chain infrastructure, I think, which is being addressed right now at a major scale. And number two, there is, especially in food storage units, I see a little, apprehension in adopting IoT solutions. I want to just say that it is not that difficult. All you have to do is scan a QR code. That's it.
Yeah, yeah. We are seeing a lot of interest from these farmer producer organizations, I think, and as we speak, I'm sure those are the other areas where I think having done so much of infrastructure investments, by these FPOs, this is a good use case I would suggest for people to explore. Uh, in terms of leveraging the infrastructure as well as also optimizing the usage, right, on all fronts.
That is very true. See, many times, even in pharma or food storage or transportation, the data loggers are used for compliance requirements. But what they are collecting is much more valuable than just compliance. It's asset intelligence. So all I'm saying is get a good customized solution that works for you in a way that you can enhance your operations than just give reports for your compliance filing.
Good. I think coming one year down the line, in fact, when SDG goals are becoming regulatory requirements to be able to, report as to what initiatives organizations are taking, especially in India, I'm saying. I'm sure we are hoping that there'll be, accelerated adoption of such solutions, and I think people should really look at this, explore, and you know that before we really experiment and explore and go through a POC and the learnings and the viability and the iterative process around it, it is a couple of months, a few quarters sometimes. So would urge people to really reach out and then see, are there any pertinent use cases for which one may want to really explore, uh, you know, adapt logger solutions. Appreciate Shiva. I may possibly give another 1 minute for anyone. It's almost 45 minutes now, so in case someone wants to really ask questions, feel free to ask. So I think we seem to be sorted.
Yeah.
Awesome. Shiva, I think, really appreciate your time today and everyone who had joined in. I see people, I think, across markets who have joined in, and I'm sure, they would be reaching out to you, I'm sure. I think, and we will see that, continue to work, and wishing you and your team all the very best.
Thanks, Raj.